Hey there, welcome to the show. It's Sunday, May 19th. I had to look at the calendar. May 19th, 2024. We are 20 weeks into the year, and this week I'm doing something a little differently. I'm going to answer a question, and the show is going to be based all around that question this week. So I do appreciate questions that come in during the week, and I like them on occasion because of this. It gives me a new, fresh topic to talk about. So let's get started and see what's going on in Des Moines real estate for week 20. Les Solgrove here with Des Moines Market Values. Again, all the graphics and show notes are available at www.desmoinesmarketvalues.com. Please take a moment this week and give me that thumbs up on the YouTube video or give me a like on Facebook. And if nothing else, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It really helps get this message out to more and more people. We had a good week this past week with views. We had more views this past week. I hope it's because I was talking about Dr. Lawrence Yun, maybe, and the National Association of Realtors. But anyway, let's jump right in here and get into the show this week. So the question that came to me came from an agent, and I'm not going to tell who the agent was, but I'm going to basically tell you what their question was. And basically, they have a single-family two-story home that's been listed. It's been on the market for about 2 months. They've done a couple of price reductions equal to about 10% off of their original list price. And I looked at the listing. I actually went in and did some research for them too, and I agree. I think that their property was in proper condition for the market at the time. It went on the market March 5th. And honestly, I think it was, I think at that point in time, I think it was probably the correct price and condition. So the question that they asked was, the sellers and I were wondering what the trends on pending sales have been. Have I seen a lull in the past couple of weeks? And it seems like people are slow to pull the trigger, but that's just from their showings. So what is the market experiencing overall? That's a great question. That's a good question, I think, for this week's show. It's timely. And let's jump in and kind of see what kind of signs that we can find here that maybe will answer that question. So the theme of this week's show is slower pace of sales, truth or myth. And the one thing I wanted to do was kind of look at all the different factors, all the different attributes to our real estate market here. And one of the things that we kind of look at, one of the analytics we look at is open houses. And you can see that like it says here, there are signs. We just need to be watching for them. This has been the year of the open house for real estate professionals in the Des Moines and Central Iowa market. As you can see, the little black lines indicate that those are the weeks where last year were the count of open houses. And this is just for existing homes. This isn't the new construction. This is just single-family existing homes. And you can see that there were a couple of weeks there. In week 2, we had a blizzard. Week 13 was Easter. So 18 out of those 20 weeks so far this year, over 1/3 of the year already in the books, 18 out of those 20 weeks were, we had open houses fewer than the year past here. One note on week 19, that was Mother's Day. And we actually had more homes on the market open house this past year on Mother's Day than we did in previous years. I hope that didn't cause any problems at home. So if we look at canceled listings, here are some small changes. Now, granted, this is just a small subset of our data, but again, 14 out of the 20 weeks so far this year, we've seen homeowners simply just give up and say, take the home off the market. And maybe week 19, you can see it's the second highest week of cancellation. So maybe mom said that weekend, take it off the market. If you're not going to hold, you held it open, take it off the market. So maybe that's where that's from. I don't know. That's just pure conjecture. Week over week price reductions. Again, this one is one that I've talked about before. 16 out of 20 weeks. Only 4 weeks have we had fewer price reductions than a year ago. Again, week 2, which was the blizzard, and maybe week 3 was a leftover of the blizzard week. Those were a couple of weeks that maybe they just said, let's hold on. Week 10 and week 13, those were the 2 weeks as well that we saw fewer price reductions. But for the most part, you can see that this past week, we had the most price reductions, over 350 price reductions, and that's the highest so far year to date. And so that's probably a sign we really need to be looking at is pricing playing a factor in the real estate market in our area? And I think it really is. I think it's price condition, which you can deal with condition, but pricing is the one that really is going to make the biggest difference. And I think you'll see why when we get to the end. As far as year-to-date homes for sale, now this is the one that, as I started to do the research, a little bit of back searching for answers for this agent, I went back and I said, okay, week 9 here, and you're going to see this little blue star on week 9. This is the date that particular listing came on the market. And it's on the market now for, what is that? 9 weeks, 11 weeks. Can't do math. I'm in this business. 11 weeks. You can see that what was happening here, and the pace of listings coming on the market, it started to go down as it typically does the first of the year, and I think there was a lot of excitement that, this is the time of year you should be getting your home on the market. There's fewer homes coming on the market every week, and lo and behold, they put their home on the market week 9, and all of a sudden the inventory starts to increase. And it increases and it increases. Currently, till we're at almost 1,500 listings, which is, compared to a year ago, week 20, we had 866. So not quite twice as many homes on the market, but a good amount on there. But this is one of those things, is if you have a home that's on the market and you're not selling, and there's more and more competition coming into the marketplace, there are more options for home buyers. So that's one of the factors we really need to be looking at. And you can see that's kind of happened there. How does this look on the sale pending side? And this is probably the one graphic that tells the best story here. You can see that from the start of the year all the way through week 9, every week there were more pendings than the week prior. So pendings had been growing, 443 in week 1, 449, and so on, all the way to week 9. It set the stage for a homeowner and a realtor representing that homeowner to say, look, home sales are increasing week over week. In fact, they continued to do that all the way until week 14. So about 5 weeks into the listing, as inventory was growing, so were home sales, pending sales were also growing. However, right about that week 15, everything kind of started to tip a little bit. So week 15, we had the exact same number of homes under contract this year that we took in during that week that we did the same time last year. So 866 homes went under contract in week 15, both this year and last year. And every week since then, we've seen this slowdown. So the question was, are we seeing a slowdown the last 4 weeks or so? Yeah, we're seeing one, really predominantly in about the last 3 weeks here. 866. It did go up a little bit on week 16. But then it started back down again. So yes, that agent was very perceptive in their question, just didn't have the graphics or the data to back it up. And hopefully this provides that we see that home sales, the pace of sales has tailed off compared to last year. In fact, last year on week 20, we had almost 970 homes that went under contract and 843 this year. So that's, 130 some difference week over week. So that's one sign that the market is changing. Again, there's that blue star where their home came on the market. If we look at days on the market, how's that affecting this particular scenario? Well, again, we were at a faster pace of selling homes, and this one I apologize just because of the way the graphics, the lines were over last year's. I went ahead and put the 2024 numbers at the very bottom here. So 26 days on the market on week 9 versus 28 days. So everything was selling at a little bit faster pace as this agent listed this property, but immediately after it started to pretty much go equal to last year. So 27 days equal there, 20 days equal there, a day faster in week 12, equal in 13, a day slower in 14, and you can see that we are trending now a little bit slower here. We're at 8 days on the market as of week 20 versus 5 days on the market a year ago. So things are, days on market are trending about 3 days. Now in their particular case, I looked at the actual property listing did a surrounding search in the neighborhood because everything is localized. This is the whole MLS in the single family existing category. And in their particular case, they were seeing homes in that particular price point and that particular area of homes on the market, considerably longer this year. I want to say close to, I can't remember what I told them, but I think it was like around 25 or 30 days on market versus, 8 or 9 overall for that area. So, yeah, it's definitely localized, and they are seeing a slowdown in that particular situation. But overall, you can see it's also true. As far as months of inventory, which is kind of the flip side of days on market here, again, there's that star. This year we were at 1.8 months of inventory when they went on the market, which bodes for that increase of inventory. And we were we were running along just around that 1 month of inventory all of last year so far after about week 5. But you can see we're almost double that right now at 1.8 months of inventory at the end of week 20. So we have more inventory. It's taking longer to sell. It's just buyers have more choices. So there has to be some reactions to that. So the real question is what's really driving this, this slowdown a little bit. And you probably thought at the very beginning of this, is it rate driven? And I think in this particular case, it probably is, because again, here we are week 9. The current mortgage interest rates are already up this year versus last year. In fact, we're continuously up higher than we were a year ago. There's that line of rates going through the week 20. We were at the highest. We were at 6.73% on week 10 last year and 6.8%. We've been above 7% now for the last 5 weeks, and I think that's a big strain on home buyers' mental psyche here. I think a lot of home buyers are saying, guys, I can mentally prepare myself to buy a home if it's going to be in about the 6% mortgage interest rate, but once it gets above 7%, maybe they're second guessing, and maybe that's what's maybe slowing down this market here. So 7.2, it is trending down the last couple of weeks, but I think also the Fed's announcement here this last week that it didn't sound like maybe they were going to be making obviously the last few weeks have said they aren't going to be making as many cuts, if any, but maybe one cut so far this year of the federal prime lending rate. And I just don't think that maybe we'll even see that the way things are continuing to move if inflation still is in play here. So, are we going to see rates down around that 6.5% so far this year? I don't think we're going to see it until maybe later in the year, if at all. And I think it's just the economy. I think that's just, so we need to be prepared. Our sellers and buyers both need to be prepared that mortgage interest rates are going to be a factor. Not necessarily a spoiler, but at least a factor in the marketplace. So one last final slide here. What's another word that describes buying power? Well, this is the buying power chart here that shows you that back in week 9, the buying power of a $2,000 a month principal and interest payment over 30-year fixed rate, just principal and interest only, was going to be $302,000, with rates going up and a little bit and then coming back down a little bit. Right now, as of week 20, we're at $300,000 is the buying power versus $320 a year ago. So the other word that describes buying power obviously is affordability, and I think that's really the key here. Home buyers are feeling that maybe they can't afford to spend as much, and so therefore they're looking in a little bit lower price points. Well, and we know what happens when you get into lower price points. You're not seeing as many homes for sale. So home sellers, be prepared. You're going to see some home buyers out there that are not being mean, but they're just coming in with probably some offers that are off of list price. And they're just trying to make their purchase a little bit more affordable, and the market's got to basically bend a little bit to some of this. If rates continue to drop slowly, that will help, but I think we're in for some challenging times ahead here. So, all right, well, with that is this week's show. Let me get my ugly face out of there now. Again, thanks for watching. Be sure and go to DesMoinesMarketValues.com. Hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, hit the like button on Facebook, and we'll see you all again next week. I promise I'll try to find some really positive news for next week's show. All right, that's it. We'll talk to you later. Take care.